The Competition Commission says it remains concerned about the high levels of food prices and will continue to monitor them so that consumers are not harmed by unjustifiable increases. In its latest edition of the Essential Food Pricing Monitoring Report, the Commission notes several positive signs of easing food cost pressures throughout the economy. This includes the relaxation of loadshedding, the strengthening of the rand against the US dollar, and the decreasing fuel prices. However, it has observed that certain food prices remain high and are increasing at a rate that is unaffordable for low-income households. The report finds that easing cost pressures has been slow to translate into lower prices of food in several essential food value chains. For more, we are joined by Kagiso Zwane, an economist at the Competition Commission's Economic Research Bureau. Kagiso, welcome to On Point. Take us through some of the food items that you are most concerned about and have been monitoring for a while, that you feel that are not coming down as fast as they should.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. So the basket of foods that we track ranges from bread, maize meal, cooking oil, canned pilchards, frozen chicken and eggs. And the products that I think we really want to highlight in this edition of the report are eggs, which experienced a major increase following the avian flu outbreak. Those prices are still elevated and are considerably higher than they were prior to the outbreak towards the end of last year. This is true of producer prices and of retail prices. So that is something that we're going to monitor as that value chain stabilizes. On the maize meal side, there was a midsummer drought that affected the country and indeed the maize industry since it's the summer crop. And unfortunately, due to leaks and lags in the value chain, that is only coming through to the retail and producer prices now. And the recent forecasts do show that the maize meal harvest is going to be lower than historic levels. And so there's going to be a lot of pressure coming through there, unfortunately, as well for consumers. Lastly, a major point of concern for us in this edition of the report was on cooking oil prices. This is a value chain that has been in an extraordinarily complex period since the onset of the war in Ukraine. Towards the end of last year, there was a decrease in producer prices, which had not yet come through in retail prices. And so that is another value chain that we're going to monitor going forward to see whether those decreases come through.
Yeah. Kagiso, in your research, to what extent is unavoidable administrative costs that industry or producers have to contend with, to an extent contributing to their slow level of bringing down the prices of those food items you mentioned earlier?
So retailers and producers have a whole range of costs that they must account for. Our report uses what is a very modest screening methodology in looking at primary input costs throughout the value chain. But of course, we acknowledge and we appreciate that labor costs play a role, transportation costs play a role, not just the raw fuel price, but how transport is used to get food around the country, and then other costs that relate to overhead and the like. I think a risk that is playing out right now is the electricity price debate, given what Eskom had asked for. So despite the fact that load shedding might be suspended for now, it's clear that at the municipal level and at Eskom's level, there are going to be considerable price increases that could be passed through, and retailers and producers will likely account for these through higher prices. So there are a myriad of factors which aren't easily identifiable with publicly available information. But if it needs to be, the Commission does have powers to legally request or subpoena this information from the relevant value chain actors so that we can get a fuller picture of what is happening in the value chain, and quite importantly, the profit margins that are being earned by value chain actors on these products.
Yeah. Kagiso, thank you so much for your time on Point. Kagiso Zwane is the economist at the Competition Commission's Economic Research Bureau. I know that our viewers here at the SABC are particularly concerned about that story, and we'll be keeping a close eye on it, because we do want food prices to be more reflective of what people have in their pockets, so that people are able to live in a much more comfortable way.